Hi everybody, this is my first video on YouTube and it's of my signed 1989 Topps baseball set. I'm going to break the video down into 3 parts so it isn't so long. Moose Stubbing, Brian Harvey, Johnny Ray, Stuart Cleburne, Terry Clark, Jim Eppard, Bob Boone All-Star, Sherman Corbett, Dwayne Boose, Willie Frazier, Jim Abbott, Tony Armas, Wally Joyner, Jack Lazorko, Greg Minton, Chili Davis, Jack Howell, Dick Schofield, Darryl Miller, Hal Lanier, Ken Caminiti, Jim DeShays, Alan Ashby, Nolan Ryan, Terry Pule, Willie Ainsley, Bob Forsch, Jim Pankovitz, Mike Scott, Danny Darwin, Kevin Bass, Gerald Young, Rafael Ramirez, Billy Hatcher, Larry Anderson, Dave Meads, Buddy Bell, Bill Doran, Tony La Russa, Terry Steinbach, Stan Javier, Jose Canseco All-Star, Mark McGuire, Dennis Eckersley, Luis Polonia, Dave Stewart, Ron Hassey, Jim Corsi, Doug Jennings, Carney Lansford, Glenn Hubbard, Mike Gallego, Bob Welch, Dave Henderson, Don Baylor, Rick Honeycutt, Steve Ontiveros, Eric Plunk, Dave Otto, Gene Nelson, Todd Burns, Storm Davis, Jimmy Williams, Cecil Fielder, Rob Ducey, David Wells, Tom Hinkie, Jimmy Key, Todd Stottlemyre, Rance Molnix, Jim Clancy, Tony Fernandez, Nelson Liriano, Mark Eichhorn, George Bell Record Breaker, Sil Campusano, Ernie Witt, Manny Lee, Russ Nixon, Andres Thomas and Paul Runge, team leader, Andres Thomas, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, Paul Runge, Hank Aaron, Dale Murphy, Zane Smith, Bruce Benedict, Bruce Sutter, Mark Lemke, Deion James, Rick Mailer, Pete Smith, Paul Assemacher, Joe Bover, Jim Acker, Kevin Kaufman, Ron Gant, Charlie Puleo, Tom Trebelhorn, Paul Molitor, Robin Yount, Bill Wegman, Del Sevum, Gary Sheffield, Mike Felder, Charlie O'Brien, Don August, Greg Brock, Paul Mirabella, Teddy Higuera, Dan Plesac, Juan Nieves, Juan Castillo, Mike Burbeck, Tom Fowler, BJ Surhoff, Darrell Hamilton, Bill Schroeder, Jim Aduce, Whitey Herzog, Tom Brunansky, Lou Brock, Ozzie Smith All-Star, Ozzie Smith Base Card, Dan Quisenberry, John Costello, Jose De Leon, Willie McGee, Chris Carpenter, Denny Walling, Pedro Guerrero, Terry Pendleton, Jose Oquendo, Kurt Ford, Jim Lindeman, Larry McWilliams, Scott Terry, Luis Alicea, Tom Lawless, John Morris, Tom Pagnozzi, Don Zimmer, Jamie Moyer, Sean Dunston, Goose Gossage, Mark Grace, Andre Dawson Record Breaker, Andre Dawson All-Star, Andre Dawson Base Card, Argenis Salazar, Mike Bilecki, Vance Law, Rafael Palmeiro, Manny Trillo, Ty Griffin, Mike Harkey, Damon Berryhill, Jeff Pico, Jody Davis, Les Lancaster, Doug DeCenzo, Frank DePino, Gary Varsho, Pat Perry, Tom Lasorda, Fernando Valenzuela, Mike Davis, John Tudor, Ramon Martinez, Bill Bean, Mike Scioscia, Franklin Stubbs, Dave Anderson, Ricky Horton, Alejandro Pena, Tracy Woodson, Oral Hershiser Record Breaker, Oral Hershiser Base Card, Tim Leary, Mike Marshall, Alfredo Griffin, Steve Sachs, and John Shelby.